Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's your host Steady Yeti, and today we're going to be playing an absolute Wonderland style deck. So this deck is just a absolute pile thrown together. This is probably technically the first rendition of Slopbox that For the Win made a video on, and it has a lot of cards in it that I really love playing with. So as soon as I see him playing it on live, back in the trainer trials when we were getting to practice with Perfect Order, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely got to check this out. So it's a pretty straightforward concept. It's basically Absol box, but instead of Absol, you get Okidogi. His thought on this was the Okidogi's first attack is basically Turbo Energize, where in this format, Turbo Energizing to 2 Monkey Dories isn't necessarily as needed as much as just turbo energizing to your main attacker. So with this deck, you're just trying to load up a Okidogi as quick as possible, get him poisoned, and then throw a Moki on it, and you'll be hitting for 300 with the help of Monkey Dory and Gravity Mountain. You can hit some pretty big numbers. Other than that, the deck's pretty straightforward. It looks a lot like Absol box, but instead of Absol, we're playing a 2-prizer for the main attacker. Has the Lily's Caferi for backup against Dragapult and Lucario. Sorry, I lost what I was saying there for a second. It's got a decent amount of draw engine with the Kangaskhan. It's got the free retreat and retreat lock stuff with Pekka Run and Yveltal. And if you have to, you can come in with Pekka Run at the end and secure an attack. I have also been able to attack with the Teal Mask. The deck does play 4 grass energy. If it's where you're up against Zoroark or something and you have to do that, you can. But the main goal here is to attack with Okidogi. That's why we're playing Crispin and Energy Switch and a lot of Dark Energy so we can get it out there. Other than that, the only real tech is Mist Energy for the Alakazam matchup, because obviously that's a bad matchup being a single prize deck. But yeah, that is the deck, so let's hop into some games. Doing a fresh ladder climb here. It just reset today, about this morning time for me. And let's see what we can get into. This deck always wants to go second because you really try to Poisonous Musculature turn 1 as soon as possible. That way on your second turn you can start attacking. You're not really worried about evolving anything since you're a big basic deck, so you definitely don't have to focus on... Sorry, I was looking at my hand, it's kind of perpetual. Focusing on getting any small basics out to evolve the next turn. So you always go second, try to hit up Okidogi and load it up. So my opponent is playing the Baby Dog, which is kind of a bad matchup, but we'll see what we can do with that. Because Okidogi EX, the dark type, is weakness to fighting, so he will be able to one-shot my Okidogi. It doesn't appear that he has a whole lot though for setup. So let's go ahead and Serrano. This is a really good card in this deck. It's like a triple nest ball. Don't really want to get Kang down. Honestly, I don't really want to get any of these down, because they're all probably just going to get knocked out. I guess we can put Fez in hand for draw next turn. Lily's Caferi wouldn't be bad. The Latias being prized kinda sucks. And the Teal Mask is what we're going to try for this game. Since we do have a grass energy, we can Teal Dance. Well, I wasn't supposed to put that down, but it'll be okay. Since we have a grass energy, we can Teal Dance to try to start loading up this Ogre Bond. That way we can try to get some attacks with it. Energy Switch isn't going to do much, but we'll go ahead. We'll play the Area 0. try to bait a stadium from him since I have a second one. If he whips Prism Energy here, we always feel bad because we could have possibly loaded up the Okidogi and started taking knockouts, but at the same time, I want to be very precautious. I didn't want to put a Kangaskhan up front, being a 3-prizer, and being that it's a single prizer deck, I didn't really want to put up a Okidogi either. So he is going to put the stadium out, so we'll go ahead and throw another area 0 down. I don't think Monkey Dory will be super prevalent in this matchup. It's fairly... not entirely sure what is happening there. Anyways, so go ahead and throw the area down. So the hand is looking kind of rough here. I possibly should have tried to lead in on an Okidogi, hoping he doesn't knock me out, and then start taking attacks, but we're here now. So let's see what we can do. I guess we just go ahead and code breaking. And get another Serrano. I mean, realistically, it's just another Serrano. Because nothing else is going to do anything. So I can throw anything else on top. And then unfortunately we don't have a way to attack with Monkey Dory. If we would have been able to get energy there, that would have been pretty cool, because we could have switched the grass to start putting in some damage. Possibly take out some knockouts, so I'm just going to pass. Judge kind of sucks since we Cyber Maniac, but it is what it is. This is an interesting hand, now that we only have energy. But if we get another grass, we could possibly start doing something with this Kill Mask, depending on what the draws look like. So he's going in with the Okidogi to take the knockout. I think I'm going to send up this Teal Mask, since we are going to get to draw with Fez, to really try to push getting there. We have Crispin as an option and several other things, so let's see if we can get there. And we got there. Okay, so Teal Dance. Oh, I really want to Teal Dance again and hope to draw one of my 4 energy switch, but the odds of that happening are always just going to be probably none. So I think we'll just go ahead and attach to be on the safe side, and then throw down on the Fez. Gotcha. Okay, so get the Chill Mask down. I do kind of want to Ultra Ball for Pekaron to be a free retreater, but if he one-shots it, that kind of sucks with the boss's order. Just go ahead and send it. Throw the Kang away. Now I have basically a free retreater. It does have to be a dark Pokemon, so I guess it's not a free retreater until I get Yveltal actually. And we're not taking the knockout here, which kind of sucks, but hopefully he can't take the knockout back. Typically those deck lists doesn't play Premium Pro or Pro, so we get another turn. He's got the legacy energy though, so that's kind of rough because he's already taken a prize card. So that means I'm gonna have to wait to take at least one more prize card. It is kind of a rough spot here. I'm sitting here thinking about the possible plays. Unless we just get an absolute nut draw with Teal Mask and Teal Dance and Energy Switch and Crispin. If this Ogre Pawn goes down, the possibility of taking an attack next turn are very slim. Throw down the Yveltal, that way we can get a free retreater. That does help a lot. And go ahead and throw, I think, a Mist Energy on this. That way we can save our Dark for this possible Peck run if needed. And then I will attack for the knockout. This is another one of those decks that if it bricks, it's normally pretty hard to recover. It can recover out of a brick, but it does not enjoy it. Alright, so they're drawing some cards. Cornerstone for Stall. I have a Cornerstone in my list. I'm not going to say it necessarily needs it, but it is a decent card. Being a single prize deck, though, that's not something you really worry about unless you just have a bad setup. Give you a few turns, maybe. And against this deck, it's pretty good, because other than Okidogi, like, this deck is... all of the Pokemon have abilities, so it can stall pretty hard against us. Especially since we're kind of scared to put an Okidogi down, because it's super easy to get knocked out. So he's going to go ahead and take the knockout. I'm going to throw up this Pekka and probably do some Yveltal free retreating stuff. Hopefully to be able to get an energy on this Clefairy and start taking knockouts. Well, that's not an energy. Let's see what this rewards us with. That's not ideal. I think I really want to get Okidogi here and go ahead and start setting it up, since it does one-shot everything. But I'm really scared that he's just going to go ahead and knock it out as soon as I do that. But hey, you know, you only live once. Okidogi. I guess we can get Munkidori down too. Maybe. Play the Okidogi. I am gonna Night Stretcher for a Grass Energy to put on the Okidogi. His first attack does cost colorless or normal, so we should be able to... Sorry, I didn't know my music had ads. We should be able to get 2 more dark since the deck does play 5. Probably don't need the Moki. We one-shot everything. Got lucky. Yeah, opponent's throwing the hands like, what in the world are you doing? And I honestly have no idea, because if they attach energy here, they can just one-shot this, which sucks, but at the same time, we have to try to play to our outs. It's 3-1, 3 to 6 prize cards, so we have to start trying to do something. The fact that he discarded that energy really makes me feel like he has something, which kind of sucks. Maybe a better play would have been Yveltal Dark Energy with Binding Monkey to do 60 and at least got one prize card on the Soul Rock. Yeah, so there's the Okidogi fully charged up, so we're about to get tanked here. Just absolutely tanked. At this point, the comeback train is unreal, but we will at least try. I'm getting to look at 4 cards. Surely we can get a Psychic Energy. That's not a Psychic Energy. It makes me wonder if Unfair Stamp even matters. If I can get the Psychic Energy on this and get this knocked out, it's a good possibility that it could matter. I'll go ahead and throw this on this just because we're not going to need it anywhere else. And I really want to deck in before Pheasantipity. I guess let's Ultra Ball like that. Now let's just see. Because if I draw a Serrano, or not a Serrano, a Crispin, then we can get the Psychic Energy and that would be good. Which that means I would want the Monkey Door, yeah, that way I could attach a Dark to it. But we don't have any Dark in deck at the moment. So we do have 2 Psychic in the deck, and the Crispin, 2 Crispin, 3 Crispins. So there are a decent amount of potential. So I think we just have to... I'll get Bear just to thin the deck. And I think we just have to hope Fez gives us something here. Just kind of pray. Fez and pray. Well, I mean, maybe with Pokegear. Okay, we did get the Crispin. That's good. So I'm probably going to get Psychic. And, well, I guess Psychic and Grass are the only 2 options I have because we're right at Dark. Which kind of sucks because I could use this Pecorant too. I'm going to put the Grass in my hand so we can Teal Dance. Put this on the Lily's Clefairy. Teal Dance. A card that's just going to sit there. So we do have at least one more Night Stretcher. So possibly start loading up the Pecorant for a secondary attacker is the game plan here. But let's go ahead and subjugating the Yveltal. And then free retreat. And this should be knockout, especially with Lightning Sweetness. Yeah, 400, that's more than enough. I don't actually think we played supporter there, but I don't know which one we would have played anyways. We were knocking out the best Pokemon, so Boss isn't doing anything, and Serrano's kind of pointless, other than for deck thinning, but we only have 17 cards left. I was kind of hoping to get the Unfair Stamp there to possibly try to stall opponent, but it is what it is. I mean, at this point, we're just in the game to see if there's any possibility. But, oh, he's actually just gonna get there. Yeah, I mean, the deck plays 3 or 4 Boss's orders, so the odds of them not winning right there were very slim, but I have seen people brick plenty and plenty of times, so I figured I'd go ahead and try. Alright, well, that was a pretty quick game. Let's go ahead and hop into another one. Yeah, this deck isn't just, I wouldn't say this deck is a very good meta contender right now. Absol is pretty low on the tier list, and with the main attacker in this deck being weakness to fighting, along with a lot of your support Pokemon being weakness to fighting, you're kind of in a spot where you're not going to do a whole lot against Lucario or maybe Okidogi or Garchomp. Like, you have to really, really grind those matches and do everything you can to try and get them to get a win on them. No basics. Deck full of basics, didn't draw one. Hey, we only had to mulligan once though, so. Starting with the Teal Mask isn't always enjoyable, but we have a decent hand for load up. Team Rockets.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
I like the Team Rockets deck. I actually have it built in paper. I plan on playing it soon in some tournaments. I got the cool Team Rocket sleeves with Giovanni and Mewtwo. Got the turn 1 Proton, that's always good for them. Yeah, we're really hoping to hit big here. Our hand is a little slow compared to the absolute aggression that they're bringing. Although Okidogi is fairly decent, if he can get the engine running with the Mewtwo and the Spot Ops, then we are kind of cooked. And it looks like that is where he is going for sure. I'm going to try to hit some energies here. And he whiffed. Wow. Can we get the Okidogi this turn? I mean, realistically we can. It's kind of nasty because we have to Crispin to get energy here, Ultra Ball attach, and then Poisonous Musculature, and then retreat. But, I mean, that's our best out, so we gotta do what we gotta do. We'll go ahead and Ultra Ball, and a Dark, hoping that we have at least 2 more. And get down the Okidogi. Let's see. So we do have a lot of Dark, decent amount of Grass, so we can Crispin this turn and Poisonous Musculature, sweet. So, done on that. Throw down the Crispin. I'll get a Grass for a Teal Dance and a Psychic. Attacking with Clefairy is possible, well, not necessarily needed, so probably not going to be worried about that. So we'll put Grass in hand to Teal Dance, and then attach the Psychic to Okidogi. And if we do have to attack with Clefairy, we do still have 1 Psychic. Drew the Kangaskhan. This is the point where you really wish you had a Pekka, so I could retreat into Kangaskhan, draw 2, and then Pekka up the Okidogi for the Musculature attack. I do think putting it on bench though isn't too bad of an idea. Let's think. I guess we'll see what next turn has for us, and we'll just go ahead and Musculature now. So that now is loaded up and is able to one-shot that Mewtwo. If they can't get their engine running, we can definitely start to hammer in on some prize cards next turn. Whipping that second bug catching was kind of good, and I'm hoping that allows them to be kind of slowed down. Something that deck that my opponent is playing really lost with Earthen Vessel. That way you could Earthen Vessel for 2 energy and then Ultra Ball. That was such a good combo. So he is taking down, which means he is in the process of the brick. So I was gonna say hopefully we could get a way to get a Munkidori and then get back this Dark Energy. Maybe I shouldn't have discarded Ultra Ball, but what else would I have discarded? Maybe Mist Energy. Because you gotta keep the boss. We have 200 HP left. It'd be 190. Realistically 180. So next turn he could knock me out with the spot ups, which is kind of scary. I think we're gonna go ahead and get Okidogi number 2 set up. Although there might only be one dark left, so we'll have to Night Stretcher for the other. But it's a 2 turn anyway, so that's not just terrible. Go ahead and take a knockout. Get 2 prize cards, see what we can work with on that. Steel Mask and Stretcher. Well, that's good if he decides to Archer, because that gets both Stretchers in the deck that I could possibly draw. We are going to need a Dark next turn for sure. And this is a good example of why this deck is somewhat good against the meta, because Okidogi's weakness to fighting instead of psychic. So with that, or excuse me, instead of grass, so with that we can really hone in on the this is not looking too well for the home team over here. I'll go ahead and stretch her energy, I guess, put it on the Okidogi. Let's see. I was really hoping to get Monkey Dory there to take a double knockout, but the draws are just not with us today. But yeah, if this was weakness to grass like Absol was, then his Spot Ops, not Tarantula, would be very scary. I'm gonna put this down in hopes that this, along with side Unfair Stamp, gets me into a P.E.K.K.A run. I'll be able to Night Stretcher for a Dark. And I guess we just have to take knockout here. Although my opponent is also bricking, we're definitely not in the best situation. Teal Dance, or Grass Energy for Teal Dance is good there. So he is going to Archer, which definitely sucks, but we still got the Unfair Stamp and the Lilies, that's solid. And the Latios, that's solid too. Ironically, the Okidogi doesn't even have to be poisoned to do knockout on actually anything. That's insane. So that'll be, well no, it does for the Mewtwo. So that'll be, unless I can get some damage on it in Monkey Dory. So that is a good setup here. So he's probably going to free retreat into this Spot Ops and then take the knockout. We're definitely going to lead with the Latios Unfair Stamp. All depending on draw, of course, but I have no idea what else we might want to do. Night Stretcher for another Dark would be nice. But yeah, when I seen For the Win play this deck, I was like, oh, I definitely have to try this out. It has a lot of my favorite Pokemon in the meta right now with Kangaskhan and Ogerpon and Okidogi. I used to have an Okidogi box deck that was super clean, super aggressive. And it played like 3 Binding Mokis, 2 P.E.K.K.A Runt, 2 or 3 Okidogi, and it was just trying to take knockout after knockout after knockout. Kind of like a Raging Bolt style deck, but it was all dark. And that deck was super sweet. Go ahead and throw up the Kang for some extra draw. And we drew the Dark Energy, that is so goated. So go ahead and throw the Dark on this. Latios. And I guess we just Unfair Stamp and then Kang. There's really no point to Lilies because we might not redraw Unfair. Try to throw them off. Hopefully hit a pretty good comeback train. And we're looking pretty solid right here. We have some stuff cooking for sure. Unfortunately, Serrano says EX. If it said 3 basics, this card would just be broken. Because we could go and get a Monkey Dory and start moving poison damage around. But that's not just really necessarily needed right now. So I think we're going to throw the Pecker Runt down. And then Pokegear. We did get a Lilies. Do we want Lilies or Boss? Huh. I kind of like Boss if he tries to set up Mewtwo, but he only has 2 cards, so let's see what he can do. And I think we're going to go ahead and Lilies. I might throw this on here just for sake of having it. And then discard pile is 2 dark, so we have 1 dark left somewhere. And the other Okidogi's knocked out. So the hope here is that we can start getting some energies on Pekron for the backup attacker. So this is some pretty good setup. It doesn't get me into energies, but we might be able to Kang next turn to get some stuff going with the code breaking. So let's go ahead and free retreat. Throw up the Okidogi. I did have a Pokemon knocked out last turn, so I guess I can Fizz. Those are some interesting Fizz draws. Nothing just super groovy. So I guess we'll just take the knockout. And just slowly try to grind into, yeah, like Rock Scouting says 2 basics. Like this card is really good. I'm honestly thinking about trimming 1 Serrano for another Brox. It plays 3-2 right now, so I think it needs to be a 3-2 the opposite way. So I can go get, typically you don't need all 3 EXs off of a Serrano. It's good for setup in the early game, but I think 2 would be more than enough, especially with like the Cypher Maniac Kangaskhan combo. You could Brock Scouting for Monkey Dories and stuff, which would be super good. So he is able to Ariana and fill his hand back up, which definitely sucks, because we were hoping that we could stall them a little bit, but his board state at this current moment doesn't just necessarily say, hey, I'm about to win, or I'm about to take back over this game, so I am okay with the current situation. Secret Box. I personally don't like Secret Box. In these Team Rockets deck, I would prefer a Max Belt. I'm not a super big fan of the Sneasel either. It's an okay card, but it's good in decks like this where you're not be able to take knockout, and then on the next turn you can Sneasel and like boss something. Let's say you put some damage on Kangaskhan and then be able to knock it out. It's definitely a good like in-game card. I guess in their deck they would play Giovanni, not boss, but you get the point. So he gets a Mewtwo there, which is really good for us. If he can't knock out this Okidogi, that is actually just... that is actually just game, I think. I don't think he can knock out this Okidogi. He can only do 240 if he gets the energy switch, which leaves me with 10, which is actually just enough. And actually he's just hitting for 160, I think. Oh, no! No, because counter gain, actually, oh yeah, that was actually a fire play for my opponent. So Now we have to think about what we're gonna do. I guess we'll put Kangaskhan up. I mean, it's not looking too good for the home team. The only really option we have here is trying to get energy on Pekarunt, and 4 of them are in the discard pile. So, Night Stretcher, a Dark, attached to Fetch. I'm okay with putting the Deltal up for a free retreater. Well, we don't really need to put the Latios. Is there a way? One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and 2 is 180, so Lily's Capillari's not doing enough. Let's see. See what we can do here. So let's Ultra Ball away some Search Engine just to see what's in the deck. I'm getting a chance of drawing 5 cards, so we could possibly hit something. We do have a Crispin. There is no Dark in the deck, so it's in its prize, so that's rough. Yeah, we're pretty cooked. Pretty cooked. And realistically, the best option we have is Veteran, or excuse me, Clefairy, but we also don't have any Psychic, so I think this is just going to be a L. Let's just go ahead and click done. I'm not going to do anything. And then, I mean, we have the option to ball stall. Typically their deck doesn't play Switch. I don't also have any energy because I put it on the Pekarunt. I played both Night Stretchers. Yeah, not looking too good for the home team here. Definitely didn't think this all the way through. I guess I'll draw some cards and see what we can do. That's not doing much. That's not doing much either. We do have the Crispin, but there's no way to attack that I can see. Especially since we didn't get energies on any of the other possible attackers. Yeah, super unfortunate turn of event here for sure. Go ahead and do this, I guess, so he doesn't draw as much. Not that I think that'll really matter. Really, the only option we have is ball stall. I don't know what else we could possibly do though. And then if he gets an air balloon, it's over anyways. Counter gain definitely cooks in this deck though. That is a crazy card. Although he does have to have, he can't do that next turn, so he will have to have energy attachment for Mewtwo, but I mean realistically all you needed is one turn. Yeah, not looking too good for the home team here for sure. I guess I'm just gonna pass. And at this point we're just stalling for no reason basically, which I hate to be that player, but I'm kind of hoping there's a line that I just haven't seen. I forget that this deck just has everything. The deck is just absolutely goated. If he throws energy on this, we're going to concede. Is he be able to take knockout? Yep, there it is. GG, bro. I love how this tag says my shorts are so company doesn't need to not even wearing shorts. Well, super unfortunate turn of events here. For sure, but that is the Okidogi box deck. It's a pretty straightforward concept. and it's a pretty straightforward lose concept too. If it's where you don't get this, you just kind of fall out of it. I might try to make it a little more aggressive and play like a second Clefairy and maybe a fourth Crispin, switch out the Brox and the Serrano numbers, just play around with it, see if we can get it a little more consistent. I think For the Win was saying it was just a rough draft, but yeah, that's where we're at with it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.